Hi class, Dr. D is here to talk to you about Module 1's expectations. If you have not yet watched the welcome video for Psych 510, please stop this video and watch that first before moving forward. In the welcome video, I cover a myriad of concepts about our course and explain what these videos are about. And I please ask that if you have not yet done this, watch that video and then watch this video. If you have watched that welcome video already, then feel free to continue on this one because we're going to start Module 1's or Week 1's expectation video. In these videos, I talk to you about the work that you're going to be doing for this week. For this one, we're in Module 1. I'm going to go over the work, talk to you about it, and go line by line with you on the rubrics and tell you what it means and how to write the paper or papers, so you can do the best you can to get the grade that you want or deserve or earn or work towards, whatever action verb you want to or adjective you want to put in there, to help you best utilize your time and with us in this course, and make sure that you learn the full maximum potential to take advantage of really all the resources and content that you get to learn in this course. So I have in front of me my laptop, and I'm going to be doing this for every module. I bring my laptop, I have it open to our course website. I opened up our module, our learning modules tab on the far left menu. It says learning modules. I opened up module 1, and really let's walk through this together. You can listen to me. I'm going to explain to you what you're doing this week. And this is how it goes for every single week. It gives you a breakdown. And I found that students like this because there's going to be weeks where the concepts are confusing or gray or shady. And it would have been nice to have an elaboration on them. Or there's going to be rubric criteria that you may not be sure of. And I'll be here to explain to you what that rubric means. So let's start. So in week 1, module 1, you're going to be learning about the scientific method. And the way you're going to be doing that, you're going to have 3 things to do. You're going to find that every week you're going to have required reading. This is a graduate level course, so please read everything that you are assigned, because what you are going to read, you're going to put into motion and apply in your assignments. So the first thing is you have reading to do. Okay, you have 3 things. At this point, I personally recommend that you also start researching articles on Google Scholar to learn what an empirical research article looks like. When I say that, I mean look at the structure, look at how it's written, look at the words, look at the style of writing, because ultimately that's what you're going to produce at the end of Psych 520. Psych 510, you're going to create your research proposal, but it all contributes and culminates into a research paper. And all the articles you get offline on the internet, you download them and read them, those are research papers. They're just published. So you're going to have something similar. So please, I ask that all my students start looking at articles from Google Scholar, SNHU's online library and article databases or repositories, and you can start reading those. Pardon me. I want you, when you look at an article, notice they have 5 sections: an introduction, a literature review, a methodology, a results, and discussion chapter. They always have 5 chapters. You're going to be writing your intro, lit review, and methodology in 510 with me. And in 520, you're going to write your results and discussion. And you're going to carry out the results and do statistical analyses. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. What's going on in Module 1 today? So I'm asking you to do your reading and also look at articles to understand how they're written and built. And the first thing is you have to look at your final project review. It says here, begin a brainstorm to decide on what topic you want for your research paper. You can post questions about this in the general question discussion forum. What this means is go down and start looking at the assignment guidelines and rubric section of our course and look over the final project document. The final project document is going to tell you that you're writing a proposal and you need to have a research topic. I'm going to give you an example. At this point, if I was a student in this course, what this tells me is I'm going to start doing research on something, and I need to think of what it is I want to research. In this course, you're going to be using psych students from SNHU who are going to be your participants. So please know that early. When you do your research, the participant pool you have are graduate students currently enrolled at SNHU. You're most likely going to be able to use surveys, and you got to now, just beginning topics for the week, think of a topic. What would you like to research? For an example, if this was me and I was a student, I could think about, well, I wonder if watching online videos in an online course has a significant impact on grades. And I might think about saying, I think I might want to find out if those who watch online educational videos compared to those who don't, what are the grade differences like? Do people who watch online videos get higher grades or not? Or are they the same as people who don't watch online videos? That's a topic, and that's what you got to start doing this first week. Start thinking, what is it that you'd want to do your research paper on? Because you're going to do one, and you got to make your topic understandable, feasible, doable. Many times when we first are introduced to research, we want to take on a huge Mount Everest topic, and this is quite common. But then we find out the ability to actually carry it out is far challenging. I implore you to think of a topic that is easy to do, meaning you can do it in the time that we have together in our courses. You can get it done. You're able to ask SNHU grad students these questions that you're going to create when you do your study, and you can get answers. Just make it realistic. For an example, if I came into this class and I said, I want to know what factors are going to contribute to curing cancer, I am not going to get that. However, if I dialed it down, I could find out opinions on cancer. And what that means is I could send a survey out and say, what do people think are the most contributing factors to curing cancer? All of a sudden, this research took a whole new shift, and I'm now doing an opinion study, and I'm finding out what do people think are the factors that could possibly cure cancer. And I could report and say, these are the top 3 things that people stated that they believe could possibly cure cancer. And now it's all about popular opinion, and it's not curing cancer. I hope you saw that in this example, I went from a large, challenging research topic, and I dialed it down to an achievable, feasible research topic where I'm just gathering opinion and showing differences on the opinions. So please think about that when you choose your research topic. Decide, is it easy to do? Can I get it done within 10 weeks? Because you're going to have to write the paper, and then in the next 10 weeks in 520, you're going to do your research. So can I report about this in 2 courses? Don't stress yourself out. Make it fun. Are you genuinely interested in this research topic? I've had students in the past, one research topic was tattoos, and do people think that having tattoos in the workforce, you're likely or less likely to get hired? That was a research topic a past student did. Another topic was meditation. Does meditation help lower anxiety? Another topic from this course in the past has also been religiosity and viewpoints. A lot of opinion surveys, because we're working with SNHU graduate students as your participant pool. Another one was looking at education, and was there a difference if someone went to a private school versus a public school, and did that make a difference in education performance? These are some examples to give you an idea of what past students have used for their topics. I want you to be original, but please make it doable and feasible. So the next part in Module 1, you have a discussion, your very first discussion. I'll put an announcement about this, but please, in your discussions, you're gonna be held accountable to have a minimum of 3 sources cited and referenced in your initial post, and a minimum of 1 source for each response post. So in your discussions, please look over the rubric and I'll go through that with you. And when you do these, make sure you have those citations. Now is a good chance. Let's go into that. We're going to talk about your discussion rubric. I'm not going to go doing the rubric every week simply because it never changes. So if you ever need to hear me talk about the discussion rubric, please just go to this video, Module 1 Expectations, and this is where I explain the discussion rubric. Again, this discussion rubric will stay constant throughout our time together, and you're not going to see it change. So 1 second as I pull it up. I'm on our class website. I see some of you already have done it. Okay. Alright, so here we have the rubric. This is your discussion rubric, and it's actually the first time I get to talk to you about a rubric. This is the way I handle rubrics. For us, it's the rubric is what you use to write and do your work, and I use the exact same rubric you use to grade your work. So there's transparency and there's clarity. I always like to talk from the exemplary and proficient categories in the rubric to help you understand how to do the work so you can achieve the best grade possible. So let's talk about the discussions. This is going to be the same through the entire course, and this rubric will not change. Your other rubrics will, and I'm going to talk, every week I go through the changing rubrics. I just want to note discussion rubrics will always stay the same. Okay, I call this content items in the rubric. Each rubric has a grading content item, and they are the rows of the rubric. You have comprehension, timeliness, engagement, critical thinking, and writing mechanics for your discussion. Let's take the first content item called comprehension and talk about it. For an exemplary, you develop an initial post with an organized, clear point of view using rich and significant detail. The key words there are rich and significant detail. That means you need to have those 3 sources. If you do not put 3 sources, we go down to proficient, and it says develops an initial post with a point of view or idea using appropriate detail. Down to needs improvement, develops an initial post with a point of view or idea but with some gaps in organization or detail. So please know that exemplary, just get in the habit of putting in 3 sources every time you do your post. This is going to help you in the long run as you write your papers, because you'll have to do this in all your work. Timeliness. Submitting the post on time, submitting it 1 day late, 2 or more days late. Your initial post is always due by Thursday of that week, and your response posts are always due by the end of the week on Sunday. Engagement provides relevant and meaningful response posts with clarity, explanation, and detail. This is looking at your response posts to your colleagues. Did you respond to 2 colleagues at minimum? You got to put in a minimum of 1 cited source for each response post. Critical thinking draws insightful conclusions that are thoroughly defended with evidence and examples. The only way to provide evidence of a claim is to have a source. If I told you that 9 out of 10 doctors prefer the toothpaste that I use, that's just an opinion. But if I back it up with empirical evidence and I say, as cited by Smith & Smith in 2012, who did a study, found out that 9 out of 10 doctors do prefer this type of toothpaste, then I'm providing factual, supportive data that backs up my claim. And it's no longer my own opinion, it becomes fact. So to have evidence and examples, you need to have those cited sources. The writing or mechanics. The initial post and responses are easily understood and clear and concise using proper citation methods where applicable, and no errors in citation. So overall, did your posts look clean, written well, and do they have the citations that they need to have? So that is the grading rubric. Let's go back to Module 1, and we have covered that you're going to look over the final project, you're going to look up existing research articles to gain an understanding of how they're written. You're going to do a discussion on scientific method, and the last piece is writing a short paper on the scientific skeptic. Here you have a writing prompt, and you're going to write about a psychological claim that you are skeptical about. This is common thought. I want you to think about common areas that you've heard about and whether or not tell me why you are skeptical about it. Okay? An example is, right now, a common area of psychology is hypnosis. Hypnosis is out there. People go to hypnotherapy. And that could be something that you're skeptical about. Well, in this paper, I want you to choose something like hypnosis, for an example, and tell me why you're skeptical about it. If you have trouble thinking about a common psychological claim that's currently out, think about areas that you may have heard about. What about astrology? What about ESP? It says, for additional details, look at the short paper rubric. Let's do that together. And it's important because this paper is actually going to cover part of your reading where you have to compare methods that you read about, called the method of tenacity, the method of authority, and the a priori method. So that's in your readings, and you're going to be writing about them. Okay, I've pulled up in front of me the short paper rubric for the scientific skeptic. Let's take some time and go together over this rubric so you understand what to write about. Okay, oh gosh, one huge thing, and I'm going to make a note right now. You have to use headers in all your papers. Please use headers in every single paper. And the headers in your paper are going to be the title of each grading content item in your rubric. What I mean is, if you're looking at the grading rubric for the paper right now, look at the far left. Those are your content items. Please use these as headers, meaning number one, it says psychological claim chosen. Your header should be psychological claim. In the center of your paper in bold, it says psychological claim, paragraph, research question, paragraph, application of scientific method, paragraph, comparisons to other methods, paragraph. An articulation of response is not a header. That's just something, that I use to grade your paper. So please, I'm going to put this in an announcement. Please use that methodology when writing papers, that we always put headers in our paper. This is not only something we do for our course, but it's part of the APA guidelines for writing a paper, which you have to follow in this course. So, looking at this rubric, psychological claim chosen. You have to state a chosen psychological claim. In my little example, this is where I would talk about a paragraph that I'm going to choose hypnotherapy. I decide to choose hypnotherapy, and you're going to need to look up some sources to cite. Research question creates a testable research question about the chosen claim. My research question is hypnotherapy real? Is it useful? Can people get healed? Maybe I need to have a better research question. Is hypnotherapy a valid form of therapy to heal addiction? Maybe I'm skeptic about that. I don't think people who get hypnotized can be healed from their drug addiction. The application, we're now in content 3 of the rubric, grading content 3 of the rubric, application of scientific method to the hypothesis. All this means is in this part of the paper, you're going to tell me how you would use the scientific method to test your research question. So in our little example right now, my research question is hypnotherapy, does hypnotherapy cure addiction, drug addiction? So how would I use the scientific method to do this? That's what you're going to tell me in this paragraph. It says, illustrates how the scientific method can be applied to test the research question about the chosen claim. And what you're going to do is you're going to tell me how you would use the scientific method. So in my example, we said my research claim is hypnotherapy. Does it cure drug addiction? I would use the scientific method by going into a clinic where people who have drug addictions who have been diagnosed already having drug addictions, and I would give one group of patients or clients hypnotherapy, and I would not give hypnotherapy to the other. and then I would go through, or I'd give them another method. But the point is, scientific method, I compare one group to the other using a placebo. And I would see how they did at the end of it and say, did those who received hypnotherapy, how many got cured of their addiction? Those who did not and used a traditional method to cure addiction, how many of them got cured of their condition or addiction? And at the end, I would have a significance, and I would say it appears that hypnotherapy is significant or not in curing a drug addiction. That's how I would use the scientific method. You're going to learn how to write this way from the readings of Module 1, and they'll show you how to write about the scientific method. Next section of your paper, the content area is called Comparison to Other Method. Please remember you also use these as headers in your paper. Explains how the application of the scientific method compares to one of the other methods mentioned in the module and makes connections to the readings. So you have to have already read your weekly readings, and in this paragraph, the ending paragraph, you're going to tell me how the scientific method is different or compares to another form such as a priori, after the fact, or the other three methods. So in this you would say, for my topic, for my psychological claim, hypnotherapy, when using a scientific method, I would be testing between groups, whereas the a priori method looks at it differently and tests this way and that way. And your goal here is to show me that you understand and can contrast and compare the scientific method to one of the three, choose one of the three other alternative methods that you've read about in your research or in your readings. So once again, this rubric is here to help you, to show you what to write in your paper, and I'm here to help you explain and help you understand these rubrics. And I'll do this every week with you. So we have, please, header 1, section 1 of your paper, psychological claim. Tell me what you're going to think about and why. Research question. Tell me what the research question is. This is a paragraph. You should have 4 paragraphs for this paper. Third paragraph, application for the scientific method. Tell me how you would use it. This should be a lengthy, meaty paragraph because there's a lot to talk about with scientific method. And last paragraph, number 4, the comparison to an other method of your choice. And those other methods are the method of tenacity, the method of authority, or a priori. You can find all of this in Module 1's required readings. So for Module 1, in order, please do all your required readings. Look at existing literature to learn how journal articles are written or research. Look at the final project to gain an understanding of the ultimate end goal of this course. Complete the scientific paper. Contribute in your discussion. And that is Module 1. We'll go over Module 2 next time. For now, I congratulate you and welcome you to our course. I hope you have fun doing these assignments and learning. It's going to grow from here on out, and I'll be right alongside with you. Take care.